Hey guys, how are you? It's me, Miss Rose. Today we're going to work on percent change. We're going to look at a lesson from Illustrative Math, also known as Open Resources. For this problem, we're actually going to use a tool called double number lines, which I find make understanding changes in percent so much easier. So the problem says complete the double number line diagram to show the percentages that correspond to the original amount and to the new amount. Okay, so the gas tank in Dad's car holds 12 gallons. The gas tank in Mom's car holds 50% more than that. How much gas does the truck's tank hold? Which we know the truck's tank belongs to Mom. So I'm just going to bold the truck because we know Mom has the truck, Dad has the car. And Mom's truck holds 50% more. More means to increase, which obviously means add. More means increase, and increase means to add. As you noticed, I underlined what the problem is asking, and I highlighted the important information, which is really important when solving math problems. So what we want to do is take our double number line and separate it into the gas and then percentages. So what I did is I turned that into a table. I separated my table into gallon and the percent. So we can start by our percent. I know that Mom's truck holds 50%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count by 25s. So here I have 25%. Our whole pie is represented by the number 12. Our whole can always change, and it depends on the problem. And as we look at each problem, we'll see how the whole is changing in each problem. So I know that if I have 12 gallons, what would half of 12 be, or 50%? 6. So I know I could fill this in, and that would be 50% is going to be 6 gallons. I could complete my table if I'd like, or I could use what I have now to solve. However, because I'm Miss Rose and I love solving problems and I love explaining different ways to figure things out, we're going to complete the whole table. So if I have 25%, what do you think we're counting by here? Well, notice we have a total of 4 pieces that we cut our 12 into, or 100% into. So we're going to take 12 and divide that by 4, and that's going to give me 3. So that means we're going to count by 3. So 25% should be 3 gallons, 50% should be 6 gallons, and 75% should be 9 gallons, and 100% should be 12 gallons. We know because it's an increase and we're adding, we know Mom's truck has 50% more than Dad. That means we're going to take our whole, which is 12, or 100%, and we're going to add that to 6, which is 50% more of Dad's car. I know 12 plus 6 altogether equals 18. That means that Mom's car can hold 18 gallons of gas. I look back at the problem. How much gas does the truck's tank hold? I'm going to say the truck's tank holds 18 gallons of gas. Number 2 says, at a movie theater, the size of popcorn bags decreased 20%. If the old bags held 15 cups of popcorn, how much do the new bags hold? So the first thing we're going to do is highlight our quantities. So my first quantity is 20%. My next quantity is 15 cups. And now I'm going to underline what the problem is asking. How much do the new bags hold? So what I'm going to do with my double number line or my table is I'm going to separate it into two quantities, popcorn and percents. I'm going to count by 20% for this problem. Next, I want to figure out, well, what would the whole be? What number represents our whole? Well, I know the old bags, if they were filled up, the old bags had 15 cups. So that would be our whole, 15 cups of popcorn. However, I know that they decreased by 20%. When I think of the word decrease, I think of subtraction. So I know that I'm going to take my whole, which is 15, and subtract it by 20%. The problem is, what is my 20%? Well, let's see. I know I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections that I cut my 100% into when I counted by 20%. So if I take 15, divide that by 5, that should give me 3. So that means we're going to count by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Look how easily that fit in. So I know that 20% in this problem represents 3 cups of popcorn, and 100% represents 15 cups of popcorn. That means that we're going to subtract 20% of the 15 from 15 cups. 20% of 15 cups of popcorn is going to give me 3 according to my table and my double number line. 15 minus 3 equals 12. How much do the new bags hold? The new bags of popcorn hold 12 cups of popcorn. Okay. A school had 1,200 students last year and only 1,080 students this year. What is the percentage decrease in the number of students? So again, we're going to highlight our quantities, which is 1,200 students and 1,080 students. What was the percentage decrease in the number of students? So now we're going to underline what the problem is asking. 100% or my whole would represent what we had last year, which is 1,200 students. So I'm going to place my 1,200 students and my 100% or on my table first. I separated my double number line and my table into percents and students. So now, what are we going to count by? So I have 120, 240, 360, 480, 600, 720, 840, 960, 1080, and 1200. What I do here is count the number of sections that I have, and that's how I would separate my percents. I have a total of 10 sections or 10 equal pieces. So we would cut our whole into 10 equal pieces. So that means 100 divided by 10 is going to give us 10. 600 is half or 50% of 1,200, and 1080 is 90% of 1,200. And of course, 1,200 is 100%. So I know that 90% is 1080. And that's what we had 1080 last year. And I know 100% is 1,200. The question here is asking, what is the percentage decrease? Decrease always means subtraction. And our decrease is going to be 100% minus 90%. So our percent decrease is 10%. What's the percentage decrease in the number of students? The percentage decrease in the number of students is 10%. Great, let's keep going. Number 4 says, 1 week, gas was $1.25 per gallon. The next week, gas was $1.50 per gallon. By what percentage did the price increase? So we're going to highlight our quantities. Our quantities are $1.25 and $1.50. Separated our table into percents and gallons of gas, our two quantities. Increase means add. So our 100%, I'm going to go with $1.25. Okay. We want to know how much did this increase by. So if we take that 100% and divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So we're going to count by 20s. So we want to figure out by what percent did we increase by. If I take 120% minus 100%, that's going to give me 20%. So our percent increase is 20%. The percent increase is 20%. Okay, let's go to the next one. 25% of a t-shirt was $12. What was the price before the discount? I'm going to underline what the problem's asking and highlight my quantities. We're going to separate our table and number line into the quantities of percents and t-shirt. The number line above is already completed for us, well, the percent part. If I have 25% of a t-shirt was 12, they're telling us that 25% is 12. They told us that. So that means we're going to count by 12s for this one. 50%, that's 24. 75% is 36. 100% is 48. And I could keep going if I wanted, but basically if I had 25% of my original price, the original price was $48 before the discount. The work that I did for this one, I guess you just did 12 times 1/4 or 12 times 4, and that gave us 48. The price before the discount was $48. It's our last problem. Compared to last year, the population in Boomtown has increased 25%. The population is now 6,600. What was the population last year? Underline what the problem's asking and highlight our quantities. We're going to separate our table into population and percent. Our percent, we're counting by 25s. The population is now 6,600. What was the population last year? And the town is increased by 25%. So our whole here would be 6,600. If we divided 6,600 by 4, 1,650. All right, if I add 1,650, 3,300. If I take 3,300 plus 1,650, that's going to give me 4,950. Compared to last year, the population has increased by 25%. We want to know what the population was last year. I know that 25% is 1,650. I'm going to take that 1,650 and subtract it from this year's population, which is 6,600. So we're going to do 6,600 minus 1,650. And that's going to give me 4,950. The population last year was 4,950. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson on percent change. And thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.